All right, so hello everyone. I've had a few messages from people asking me what's happening with workshops, what's coming up, and I just sent out the PAScribe newsletter. So for those of you who have not signed up to the newsletter, all you need to do is go to the Scriptorium and join one of the free classes, and it will add you to the newsletter. So what's happening? Next weekend, there is a Copperplate Script workshop. So after I do all the talking, I will do some writing because there's some really interesting things that I want to show you. So next weekend, there's the Copperplate Script workshop. I'm teaching Copperplate Script online on Saturday and Sunday from 12 noon to 7 p.m. All the classes are recorded, and you will get access to the recording for 6 months. So that is an online Zoom class, and you can find the link in my bio via tap link. June and July. So June the 22nd and 23rd, I will be in Toronto teaching pencil and brush Spencerian. So this is a course that I developed in 2015. It's really quite interesting. And I write Spencerian script with a pencil, a 6B pencil, and then I teach you how to do it with a Tombow Fudenusuki brush pen. So it's a great workshop because it gives you a script that you can go out and practice without needing ink and paper. Obviously, you can do this with markers, but it's a different marker script, and it's different to brush copperplate. It's a really fun course, and it's quite exciting because once you learn the pencil work, you can then sort of understand a little bit more about how to apply it to pen and ink. So that's June 22nd and 23rd. If you want any information on the Copperplate brush Spencerian workshop, please contact the Toronto Guild, and they'll happily put you in touch with that. I will leave all this information below. Arizona, so I'll be in Phoenix, June 29th and 30th, teaching Copperplate Script. So this is a hybrid event. So it's a live class, so you're more than welcome to come and join the class. But if you can't physically join the class, you can join us online. So it's a full day online. It's from 9:30 until 5:30 on the Saturday and Sunday, which is the 29th and the 30th of June. That class is also going to be recorded, and you will get access to it for 6 months. Again, I'm using some really innovative material that I've been working on silently, which I'm adding into the second edition of the Copperplate Script manual. Then I will be in San Antonio, Texas for IAMPETH from July 1st to the 8th. So I'm giving my 3,500 year lecture of the alphabet just to give people a sort of overview of where their scripts fit into this, 2,500 year period of writing Western scripts. I'm also going to do an introduction to my calligraphy and meditation class, so students get a sense of how I approach calligraphy from a meditative perspective, and how to try and apply that through the week. I am also teaching a one-day workshop in Textualis Quadrata, and then I close off the week with a little bit more of the calligraphy and meditation to sort of see how students managed over the week, trying to implement it into the things they've learned. The course there is also going to be recorded, and participants will have access to it for 6 months. Then I will be in Washington, D.C. on July 12th, 13th, and 14th. So the 12th is a Friday evening lecture, and the 13th and 14th is the Fraktur and its Attendant Flourishing workshop. So this is quite an intense workshop. It's a lot to teach. It's a lot to learn. It's really fun. It's how we take historical Fraktur, and we added those historical flourishes. So not only does it work with pencils, it also does work with broad edge markers, broad edge nibs, and pointed flexible metal nibs. This class is also going to be recorded, and participants will have access to it for 6 months. So just a little recap, all of the classes are recorded. And once I get home, I will put them up on the PAScribe Scriptorium, and attendees will have access to them for 6 months. I have also started something that I've been planning to do, which is a pre-class course. So every class, every workshop I teach, you will get a pre-class workshop, so that we're really only working on the script in the class, and we're not grappling with issues like tool control, line control, consistency of line coming out of the tools. You would have understood a little bit about the tools and materials, so that you can figure out which inks, nibs, and papers work best for you, so that when you come to the workshop, be it an online workshop or an in-person workshop, we are working on the script and not me helping you figure out why these tools are causing you problems, because there is quite a lot to teach across 2 days. So I'm very excited that all these courses have their pre-class online content up. So if you are intending to join any of these classes, join them now so that you can get through the exercises. Now, for each one of these pre-class courses, I have developed a series of grids, because you know how much I love grids, of the pre-class grids, and I am going to use some of them now. So this is the Copperplate Script pre-class grids. There's a 55-degree grid in there, but there is also my innovative grid sheet, which I'm going to use for writing. So I'm using a Cason marker pad, and I'm also using some Pelikan 4001 ink. And just when you expect it, I left this tool just there. There it is. And I'm going to use a Gillott 303. So one of the things you'll notice as I'm doing these bits of script is that the angle of the camera will have to change quite a lot to compensate for the script. And so we're doing Copperplate Script on the next weekend, which is May the 25th and 26th. And we're also doing it in Phoenix on June the 29th and 30th. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Next script is the brush Spencerian. So I'm going to take this out, put push it back so I don't mess up my sheets. So in the brushed Spencerian script, I developed this grid which has the 52 and the 30 on it. So it helps you find the angle for the script, which is 52, plus it helps you with the axis of the connective strokes. So I start this script off with a Derwent 6B pencil. So this is the pencil part of the Spenserian script. And in the PreClass course, there is some information on muscular movement and whole arm movement. Right, let's take this off. Next is Textualis Quadrata. So of course, the thing about the Textualis Quadrata workshop is you can't really attend the workshop unless you're a member of IAMPETH and unless you have signed up. I don't know what the classes are like and how full they are, but I think they're doing quite well. For this, I actually produced a set of grids for right-handers and a set of grids for left-handers, because if you are left-handed and you're joining this workshop and you are using a Speedball C1 nib, you'll find that the size of the letters requires you to have a slightly different grid to the normal C1 nib. And once again, I have to turn the page. So this grid, this innovative grid that I've developed, really helps you to see how the script works, because you can see some 45s under there, so you can find the axis of the nib very easily, because the nib needs to be at 45. Where are we at? Where's the baseline? That's 6. That's 6 there. Is that top? Oh, there it is. So that's Textu Quadrant in San Antonio for IAMPETH. And then, of course, for the Washington DC Guild, I'm teaching Fraktur and its Attendant Flourishing. So I've developed some new grids for this as well. Grids are just so wonderful to develop. And let's get the majuscule grid. So I have a set of grids for majuscules and one for minuscules. Now, I have just moved those markers. What is that? That's 1. Is that a 2? That's a 2. Excellent. So one of the options for students is if they're not, just close this ink, if they are not comfortable with moving on from to a pointed flexible metal nib flourishing, they can continue the workshop in a marker with a pencil. And because you have the recording for 6 months, come back and study with it, and once you feel comfortable enough to do that practice on its own without with the pointed flexible metal nib, you can move away from doing it with a pencil. So in the class you have a couple options. You can either work with ink and nib, meaning a broad edge nib with ink and a pointed flexible metal nib with ink. You could work with a marker and a pencil, or you could work with ink and a marker. And there we have the 4 scripts that I'll be teaching over the coming weeks. So I hope that I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of that. It's not been easy, sort of juggling all of this and putting all the scripts together. But do join me for next weekend's Copperplate Script workshop. I have found a way to simplify the script even further using the training wheels, both for the minuscules and for the majuscules, which I've not really ever shown anyone. and then taking you a step further into using pencils for a little bit of pressure and release, and then moving you into the pointed flexible metal nib for Copperplate Script. You'll find all those links below, the links for me, the links for the Toronto Guild. IAMPETH I will also put in, but that sort of depends on if you're a member, and if you're up for flying to San Antonio. And of course, there is also going to be the link for the Washington Guild. So I look forward to seeing you at one of these workshops. I will be in those cities for a week. So if you're around and you want to meet for a drink, a coffee or some food, let me know. I'm happy to meet up. And don't forget, I am working on the second edition of the Copperplate Script manual. So please do send me an email with your majuscules, minuscules, a little sentence like the quick brown fox, and let me know if you're right-handed, what inks and nibs and papers you've used, and if you've used a straight holder or an oblique pen staff, because I'm really I really need this information to start collating stuff. People have been sending stuff in, and I've been looking over their notes and emailing them back a little crit to help them along with their practice. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you at some of the workshops.